Encore presents The Bronte Boy by Michael Yates.
Hear me! You will hear me, sir!
I hear you, sir. I hear you.
You do not, sir. You do not listen.
I listen, sir. I listen, Father. Oh, Father.
It is noon, sir. Noon! And you are not yet dressed.
I am dressed, sir. I am dressed, sir. I am dressed well enough. For the house, sir. For my study. Well enough for the house.
Branwell, I would help you dress.
Sir, I am your son, but I am no longer your child.
You are in drink, sir.
I have had a glass of gin, Father. One glass, that is all. Satire is a glass wherein beholders discover everyone's face but their own. But I have seen my face, sir.
There is work to be done. There is always work.
I do my work, Father. I work. Even now I return to it. I return to my desk. I return to my study.
Well then, I shall be pleased to see it. When it is finished, whatever your work may be.
Finished. Father. Our Father. Father, I go to my desk. I go to my work. I go now. Good morning once again, old desk. Though if my father is right, it is already afternoon. Look at you, desk. You are every whit as untidy as I am. Papers, papers, papers. What's this, eh? To the editor of Blackwood's magazine. Sir, read what I write. If you please, sir, read what I have written. What I write, or what I have written? Write. Written. Have written. Yes, yes. Sir, read what I have written, if it pleases you. I have addressed you twice before, and now I do it again. Oh, let it please you. Oh, God. Oh, Father. Let it please the editor. I have attached a poem of my own devising, which the editor of the Halifax Guardian has seen fit to print this last month. The Halifax Guardian is a most learned and respectable newspaper within the county of Yorkshire. But what will they think now it is already published? Will they think it used and stale? I trust, sir, that you will not think it used and stale, that it has already been published. For the Halifax Guardian is seldom read beyond the bounds of Halifax itself. No, no. We shall start again, Mr. Editor. A new paragraph, a new sentence, sir. Oh, that I might drink and leave the world unseen, Mr. Keats. The Royal Academy. I had already begun a new epistle to that grand institution. Where is it? Ah, yes, here it is. The Secretary, the Royal Academy. Sir, you will recall this is not the first time I have written to you. Have written. Wrote. No, have written. We had arranged an appointment, and I was to bring you some of my paintings, half a dozen small watercolours that I consider bear comparison with the early works of Mr. Turner, and which my friends, all learned men hereabout, had said were not without merit. I also planned to bring you 2 larger oil paintings, which my friends and family had also enjoyed, and over which the name of Mr. Gainsborough was frequently invoked. By so doing, I had been hoping to forego some of the formal examination procedure which is customary with you. But alas, when the scheduled day came, I was, I regret to say, inconvenienced. No. Obstructed. Obstructed by some family business which was wholly unforeseen. I trust, sir, that you will allow me to make amends, even at this late hour, by admitting me to a further appointment. I will still be able to bring you the oil paintings, which, by happy coincidence, are still unsold, despite my having begun a thriving portraiture establishment in Bradford. The paintings are first of my sisters, of which I have 3 remaining. That is, 3 sisters. But also 3 paintings. To tell truth, I have very many paintings remaining. And second, paintings of the countryside near Howth Rectory, which is our home. I tried to do one of my father, but I couldn't catch the likeness. Now, what is this? To the directors of the Leeds and Manchester Railroad. Dear Sirs, I write to bring to your attention a very grave injustice. Some years ago, I served as an employee of your company at the Sowerby Bridge railway station. During my term of duty, a sum of money... No. Throw it away. Throw it away. I have always been a man of letters, have I not? What letter shall I write today? John Brown, sexton of the parish. Friend John, my spirits are low. I shall feel very much obliged if you can contrive to bring me 5 pence worth of gin in a proper measure. I could perhaps take it from you at the Lane Top when I shall reimburse you. I shall get this letter to you in the usual way. One glass. That's all I've had today. Mr. Editor, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Gainsborough, Mr. Railway Director, Mr. Reverend Bronte. And a draught or 2 of laudanum. Well, I have a cold. It's good for me. Emily takes it regularly. Charlotte used to. And that friend of hers, that Gaskell woman, takes it all the time. Only thing is, it does make you sleepy. It makes you dream.
Brother, be awake!
What?
I want to play!
Charlotte, yes, I'll play. But not girls' games. Not games that girls play.
I don't play girls' games.
No, you don't. All right then, we'll play war.
La guerre!
Is that French? I do not like French.
You do not like French because you do not know any.
I do not care to learn it. It is not a man's language. Not like English. I think it is the lack of consonants that spoils it for a man.
I love French. But then, I suppose I am a girl.
But you like war.
Oh, yes, I do. We'll have battles and massacres and carnage. I love carnage.
I am glad, for I do tend to write carnage, when I am in the mood. Look, it's all here, in this exercise book. I've worked very hard on it. I trust you will find as much carnage as your heart may desire.
Oh, I'm sure I shall. What is the story?
This is a great day for the Glasstown Confederacy.
Oh, yes. Why?
Because they are poised to conquer the whole of the nation of Angria in the name of King Zamorna, and raise their banner among the African natives, of course. And when they have done so, why, there will be other lands and other worlds to conquer. For Angria, once a backward and pagan state, shall take its rightful place among the powerful nations of the earth.
Bravo! And is there love in the story?
Love? Why should there be love?
Well, there is always love. Otherwise, what will the soldiers do when they have won? They must have something to do when the battle is over.
Well, I suppose they will celebrate.
How?
With feasts. As you find in Shakespeare, in Macbeth, for example.
And dancing. Will there be dancing? As you find in Miss Austen.
You are reading Miss Austen?
Only when I am tired. Or I have a headache.
It would require a very large headache to induce me to read Miss Austen. Why, There are no massacres, no carnage.
It is true, I do enjoy carnage, but in its proper place. Well, where are the soldiers?
You know where the soldiers are. In their box. Where they always are.
Then you must let them out. You're good at getting out the soldiers.
Very well. Here they are.
Lay them out on the desk. That young one there is very handsome.
It is his uniform that makes him so. Sometimes I think we should all wear uniforms. Everyone should be known for what he is. A colonel, a lieutenant, a private.
And for what she is?
Don't be silly. You don't have girls in the army.
I'm sure you do. I read somewhere about some women who were camp followers.
Well, it was probably like the song when sweet Polly Oliver followed her sweetheart to the wars. But she only dressed as a soldier. She wasn't really one of them.
But it's the uniform that matters. That's what you said.
Except when it comes to girls.
That one there. He looks a bit like father.
Right. He can be the general. General Percy.
But he's not got a general's uniform.
If he's father, then he'll be the general.
But that's not what you said. All right.
The redoubtable General Percy is very important. For when King Zamorna has gained his victories, I think General Percy will plot against him. I think there may be rivals for domination. Now, where's the artillery? Where are the big guns?
Dear brother, do not take this amiss, but you said poised. Poised to conquer. That's what you said. Sometimes it is not enough to be poised. Perhaps something untoward will happen.
Something untoward? Never.
Perhaps.
No, never. They have proved their mettle. They've proved
their steel.
No, Charlotte. When I say they have proved their mettle, I spell it differently. It is the word metal meaning courage and ardent temperament, not the word metal meaning an elementary substance such as gold or steel or tin.
You are so clever, Branwell. You are so grown up. You sometimes make me forget I am the elder by a good 12-month.
It is because I am a boy. Boys have larger brains. Well, if we can't find the artillery, it will have to be hand to hand.
Let me have father.
Why?
Hand to hand is extremely taxing on the constitution, and he is a person of sedentary pursuits, unused to the African climate.
He is a man, and hand to hand is no sacrifice for such as he who has risen to the rank of general.
I do not want him to be a casualty. I do not want him to partake of the carnage. I do not want him to die or be in any way posthumous.
He will not die. Has he not proved himself? Has he not outlived so many others in this war?
Maria.
Elizabeth.
Our sisters.
And our mother.
Our household.
Cavalry. Why do we have so few cavalry? Look, perhaps he will be wounded. General Percy will be wounded.
Oh, no!
But he will not die.
He must not!
You will nurse him back to health.
Will he be wounded for long?
Not if you nurse him well enough. Not if we choose it differently.
Then let us choose it differently. I would not want to spend my life nursing father.
You know, perhaps there might be dancing. A ball, perhaps, if the officers wished.
It will be a chance for the officers to while away their time during the peace.
There will not be peace for long. It is not the way of things.
It can be for a short time. A ball does not take up more than a short time. It is a necessary thing that the officers should meet young ladies, and the King of Angria should meet them too.
Why the king? Why King Zamorna, the great warrior of Angria?
Why, kings even more than officers. The kings must have sons to occupy their thrones after them.
Very well. Then Zamorna, the mighty warrior of Angria, shall marry. He shall marry Mary, the daughter of General Percy.
But King Zamorna and General Percy do not seem well matched. You said yourself they are secret rivals in the struggle for domination.
That is what I am writing in my history of Angria.
Of course, if King Zamorna and Miss Percy love each other truly, then no one should stand in their way.
General Percy will see that this is his chance of winning favour with Zamorna, and Zamorna will see it is his way of controlling General Percy. He will make General Percy his Prime Minister.
And will that lead to another war?
Of course.
Even though they have become the same family?
It is always so with great families that they should wage war and kill each other. Consider, Richard III and the Duke of Clarence were brothers. I must write this down.
I am grown bored with this. I do not want the family to kill each other.
It is only what you get in Sir Walter Scott. The Highland clans. I thought you liked Sir Walter.
I am now less for Sir Walter and more for Lord Byron.
You told me you adored Sir Walter. Sir Walter is a man who knows his battles and his soldiery. Why should you change? What faults do you now perceive in Sir Walter?
Perhaps he is too Scotch. I do not know. About Lord Byron, there is something... Well, I cannot say what something, but it is not at all Scotch.
And yet I believe there is some Scotchness about him.
Then he has hid it well. Will General Percy really go to war against Kingshamorner?
It is inevitable.
But they have so much in common. A woman who loves them both.
It is destiny. For a woman, love is destiny. For a man...
What is it for a man?
To be something in the world. To be... A girl would not understand.
I think perhaps I do. I think perhaps it is found somewhat in Byron.
Children! Children! Where are you?
Father, it's father. Quick, put the soldiers away. Keep them safe.
You cannot keep soldiers safe. It is not their nature. Come, let us speak with our father.
With the redoubtable General Percy.
Children! Children! Where are you? Branwell! Charlotte! Emily! Anne! Come to me! Come! Here! Work! There is always work, but always the works of the Almighty are great and good. And today, under his guidance, our own work has come to fruition. I have here a letter from the Royal Academy. Branwell, I have taken the liberty of opening this missive, though it is clearly addressed to you.
I forgive you, Father.
Branwell has been offered an interview with the Royal Academy for a place among their students. He is to meet with the Secretary on the 2nd of next month. All their works they do to be seen of men. Matthew 23.
There is still an examination, Father, a procedure to be followed before I can be taught there.
But for one like yourself, my son, I fully expect that it will be waived. You have much to show them.
I have a few paintings of some worth.
Oh, they are brilliant. You are brilliant, Branwell.
Thank you, Anne.
He will be such a success, will he not, Father?
I believe he will, Emily. He has been well taught, I know, by my friend Mr. Williams in his studio in Leeds.
And I have tried, Father, to copy from nature.
We have all of us tried to copy from nature, Father. We've all, I believe, reached a certain dexterity with the sketching pencil.
Dexterity. It is no more than I should expect of all my family, Charlotte. Every man's work shall be made manifest. Corinthians chapter 3.
And every woman's?
My children are like olive branches around my table, but there is one will grow like a cedar in Lebanon.
But supposing he falls, Father?
He does not fall, Emily.
He used to fall, Father, all the time.
That was many years ago, Anne, and it was not all the time. It was a thing of childhood. It was grown out of.
If it is the 2nd of the month,
Yes,
Father.
Charlotte.
Father, there are great preparations to be made, and precious little time.
Yes. Breeches to be washed, bread to be baked, pictures to be framed, tickets to be bought. I rely on you to organise the details, Charlotte, and I say to the rest of my family, do as Charlotte tells you. It is a great adventure for us all, and we must all play our part.
A few paintings of some worth.
for to be seen of men,
And I have tried, sir, to copy from nature.
and your work made manifest.
And precious little time.
Whoa! Whoa there!
A room, one night only. A room and a fire and a meal and some live entertainment.
And a jug of something, sir? Spirits?
No need. I am already in good spirits.
Emily, Anne, General Percy will not die. When King Zamorna has gained his victories, I think General Percy will plot against him. I think they may be rivals for domination, but I think neither of them need die.
Charlotte, I do not care if they live or die.
Anne, how can you?
They are not real, Charlotte. They are only stories.
There was a time, Anne, when you respected King Zamorna and General Percy, when you more readily took part in the great and chivalrous deeds of Angria.
There are other lands and other worlds to explore, Charlotte. Now Anne and I have become pilgrims.
Pilgrims, Emily?
Yes, pilgrims. We too have decided to traverse further afield. We have our own country now, where the people listen to us.
Why, Mr. Branwell, sir, of all the folk.
I do not... Why, it is Brown, is it not? John Brown?
It is Mr. Branwell, John Brown, the father's sexton. The father's gravedigger.
I cannot conceive it, that I should traverse to London, arrive at this very inn and find you here.
The coach road from Bradford is well travelled, sir. If we've made the same journey, even at different times, it is no surprise we should meet here. What, if I may ask, brings thee to this destination?
Why, I hope, Brown, that it may not be so much my destination, but a mere staging post, if I may use that metaphor.
Why, you may, sir. Of course you may. What is a metaphor to a gentleman like yourself? I myself am happy with the metaphor. For we'd all readers now, sir. We working folk too have our schoolhouses and our libraries.
It is a great age we live in. I am a sort of pilgrim, Brown, and my quest is to stake my claim and be part of this great age. I have an interview with the Royal Academy tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock sharp.
And I'm sure that's what they'll be, sir. Sharp. But I too am a pilgrim.
Oh? And what is your quest?
Nothing less than the sacred work of the great architect of the universe.
You mean God?
That is not a name I speak lightly, sir. But I do mean God. Here, let me pour a libation.
I do not know what you can find in another country, sisters, that you cannot find in the perfectly adequate nation founded by Branwell and myself. I may add, it is a land fit for all of us, a land of justice and nobility, a land...
Cannon, Charlotte.
And war.
And parades.
And politics. Ugh.
Anne, Emily, these are the very things of life. What else can there be?
Poetry. There is no poetry in Angria. Only battle hymns and speeches for when people die.
So we have founded a new country. Gondal.
And what would I find in Gondal, if I should care to make such an excursion in the first place, which I very much doubt?
Joy, Charlotte! Ecstasy!
Not all the time, Anne. For I think it is not wholly proper to require joy and ecstasy all the time. But now and again, that is acceptable, with perhaps a little pain intermingled. Darkness and glory rejoicingly blending, earth rising to heaven and heaven descending, man's spirit away from its drear dungeon sending.
Oh, Emily, that is good. Is it not good, Charlotte? Is Emily's poem not brilliant?
Why, yes, Anne. It is promising.
Only promising, Charlotte?
More than promising, perhaps, Emily. But the mood is uncertain. How can darkness and glory rejoicingly blend? No, I consider it too metaphysical, and the mood changes are too abrupt. Drear dungeon, indeed.
Drear dungeon, indeed. But if Branwell had written it...
Oh, if Branwell had spoken it...
Why, then it would be light as birdsong.
And we should be carried away on wings of posy.
Anne,
Emily, do not speak slightingly of your brother. You would not do so if he were here at home.
And where is he?
You know only too well, Emily.
Oh, tell us again, Charlotte.
We are only children and we are forgetful.
Why, Branwell is making his way in the world, as we shall all need to do.
Away from this drear dungeon.
If you care to think of it as such.
Free, Mr. Branwell. All men free from the dungeon of life. Free to live as brothers. Free to do aught they please if it please the architect.
Brotherly love? Is that not the teaching of our own Lord Jesus?
It is, aye. And we Masons do not deny the Lord Jesus, nor the Hebrew Lord of Moses, nor the Lord of the Mohammedans, nor any Lord. But we are, sir, more practical. For that is the nature of God, is it not? He has designed and structured a universe more powerful than the steam engine, more beautiful than the blast furnace, more teeming with life than the back streets of Manchester. A universe of infinite beauty. And what does he ask of us?
What?
That we acknowledge the three great needs of man. First, that we honour and respect each other, every degree and kind and appetite. Although, of course, I do not include papists.
Why, no.
Second, that we relieve the sufferings of our fellow man as best we can with the methods to hand. Here, I'll refill your glass, Mr. Branwell. And third, that we have plain truth in all our dealings. We do not deny each other whatever we may be. We do not deny our brotherhood. Which is why I am here in this city.
You come to...
To meet with the Masons, the men of other lodges, to share a glimpse of the divine diagram, if such a praise is not too high-fangled for a man of my station.
No, I believe it is not.
For we both of us read books, Mr. Branwell, from the shelves of the Mechanics' Institute.
Yes.
We mean to share a glimpse of the whole of the grand plan of the Great One. For thou must know the proportion of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem was no more than an imitation of the system of the natural world.
I do believe so.
Solomon's temple is the secure foundation on which all our hopes are based. The inner sanctuary alone was 20 cubits long, 20 cubits wide, and 20 cubits high.
Why,
the holy building is a symphony. Dost thou know the music of the spheres?
Why?
The cube that is the base of the temple is the symbol of all the consonances in music, because the ratio of its sides is 1:1. Which represents the note of unison. Or the full string length containing within itself the vibrations of all the other musical intervals. The cube is sacred because its 8 corners form the harmonic mean between its 6 faces and its 12 edges.
I must confess, I'm not so much musical as I am poetic.
And the Holy of Holies, with its adjacent chambers, was 20 cubits broad and 30 cubits high. And the nave in front was 40 cubits long. Thus the proportions are 40 by 30 by 20. These ratios are exactly the same as those which mark the musical intervals of the octave. It can therefore be said that the Temple of Solomon expressed the fundamental, the octave, the 5th and the 4th, known as the perfect consonances because they are invariable.
Invariable?
Aye. I can believe it.
I do. Why, yes. Such is a noble design. I see it all.
Humanity itself is invariable, sir. So no man may be an outcast, whatever his true nature.
Sisters, do not make yourselves outcasts from the world we have created.
No, we would never do that. Would we, Emily?
I wonder what he does now.
Branwell?
Why, he prepares himself. He girds his loins for the battle of the morrow. Emily, Anne, shame on you. Really, is this how the daughters of Gondel behave? While the great son of Angria prepares to shine in the world, to make his mark with study and high-mindedness.
All their works they do to be seen of men.
Every man's work shall be made manifest.
And he shall gird up his loins.
Enough!
Sleep, Mr. Branwell. Do not fret. Lie calm in the arms of Morpheus. but we shall have to get thee to thy room. What was it our Lord Jesus said? Take no thought for the morrow, Mr. Branwell, for are we not all accounted in the draftsman's great design? Does he not see the weakness of our natures and balance them against the rest of his creation? Aye, let us hope he does. I will take your weight, Mr. Branwell, if you will let me. Oh, come on then, sir.
Father, I see you've...
I have taken the liberty of opening this missive addressed to you from the Leeds and Manchester Railroad Company.
The Leeds and
Manchester Railroad Company.
My employers.
Your former employers.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Father.
They speak of a sum of money.
Yes.
£11.
1 shilling and 7pence.
1 shilling and 7pence. You are correct, sir. How I wish you had been correct very much earlier.
I would have told you.
Would you, sir? Yes, I'm sure you would. After a fashion. After the fashion of your telling me about your interview at the Royal Academy.
About the Royal Academy, sir. I believe there was a prejudice against me. I fear that, well, being Londoners, they look down on Northerners at the Royal Academy. The sons of...
parsons? Well, yes. Perhaps they do.
I meant sons of Northerners, sir. I did not seek to blame you nor other parsons beyond the
but
general...
perhaps it is true in some areas. Perhaps the Bradford patrons of your artist's workshop did not warm to the paintings of a parson's son. They, after all, would have little reason to rail at Northerners. No, sir. Their geography would argue against it.
I cannot deny my failure in the business of portraiture. Though many of my artistic friends, Mr. Leyland, the sculptor, and his brother, for example, have often described my work in the most generous terms, frequently invoking the name of Mr. Gainsborough. The world of art is difficult, sir, at the best of times. There are fashions, modes, styles that must be caught at the instant to make one appear attractive to the hoi polloi. If one is inclined to finer things, the matter of a Renaissance sensibility, certain eternal truths, then... Well...
Eternal truths, sir? What about catching the likeness of a sitter? Surely that is the main truth required in portraiture? Or am I become old-fangled, sir? Well, what exactly would you categorise as eternal truths?
Surely, sir. The brotherhood of mankind in which we honour and accept each other in every degree and kind and appetite.
That sounds to me, sir, like chapel talk. The rants of the radicals. The erstwhile revolutionaries of France.
Was not Wordsworth himself a supporter of that revolution? Oh, what a joy to be alive, but to be young was very heaven.
Heaven, sir, does not lie across the English Channel.
No, sir.
No, sir. But I do accept your point that many of our greatest artists have suffered to be ignored much of their lives. It may still turn out, sir, that you are one of these. But you are not, it seems, one of our greatest accountants.
No, sir.
How could you have permitted this to happen, this loss of revenue revealed by the auditors? Surely the post of ticket clerk is not so arduous,
no, indeed,
nor so irksome.
The clerking of tickets on the railway is an honourable post, Father, and has many satisfactions. I was often praised during my employment for the elegance of my handwriting and the neatness of my style.
Your artistic friends again. You could write a ledger, it seems, at least enough so you caught the likeness, but could not read one adequate.
It was during that period when I was most prodigious in my poetic output, Father. I remember now. I was translating Horace from the Latin.
Perhaps Horace is therefore to blame. But it is we will rue the day.
To Cestius. Rough winter melts beneath the breeze of spring. Refitted ships shun not the silent sea. Nor man nor beast to folds or firesides cling, nor hoarfrosts whiten over field and tree.
My brilliant son.
Thank you, Father. I thought it caught the original.
Likeness?
Yet newly fashioned in a selection of language properly used by modern man, as Wordsworth says all poetry should be. I will find a new post, Father. I have made a good friend among the railway folk. There is one called Francis who...
Railway folk! Enough! No more clerking, sir. No more railways. A teaching post. That is what we must seek. It may well be that you can inspire others, as I believe your sisters will. They are all bent on being governesses. It is the only way forward.
Yes. Teaching. It is an honourable profession and has many satisfactions.
It is agreed, then.
It is agreed.
John Brown? Is that you, Brown?
That it is, parson. A good day to you.
Are there no more graves to be dug?
Even a man of my calling must take his rest, parson.
I believe you are often here at this time of day.
When fate allows, when the great geometer permits me.
And I believe on occasion you encounter my son.
The young Mr. Branwell enjoys his daily ambulation, it is true. Aye, on occasion.
You meet and present him with a package.
At his request. Always at his request.
No more.
No more? Can any man say that to a grave digger? Not even a parson.
You forget yourself.
Sir, I mean no offence. Young Mr. Branwell considers me his friend. Sir, why do you pursue him so? Is it not enough that he is part of this world, this great symmetry? Why not permit him his small radius, his tangent, his complementary angle?
I do not consider you his friend.
I am sorry for that, sir. For I consider myself a friend to everyone, all the inhabitants of this great sphere, this world of ours.
This world of yours. Not mine, not my son's. I know you, Brown.
And I know you, sir. And I know your son.
My son, who can scarce dress himself by the middle of the day.
I will dress him, sir. I will be his manservant.
I know you, sir. I know you. Do not doubt that I do. Now, I bid you good day.
What? I do not hear thee, parson. I hear nought. What, sir? What? Oh, but I wish you good day, sir. Good day!
That was The Bronte Boy by Michael Yates. The cast: Branwell Bronte was played by Warwick St John. Charlotte, Melanie Dagg. The Reverend Patrick Bronte, Asadour Guzelian. John Brown, Eddie Butler. Emily Bronte, Vicki Glover. Anne, Hayley Briggs. Other parts were played by Colin Lewisohn, who also produced and directed. The Bronte Boy was an Encore production.